Thank you, Tony, Anthony. Thank you, everyone. And I hope everyone can see my screen. Welcome. Yeah, welcome, everyone. Good day. It's my pleasure. And thank you, John and Aldo. It's my pleasure to present to you today the potential and the power of disruptive technology that is heading our way very fast in the industry, and in particular focus on the disruptive power of AI, which is real and alive. So without further ado, I'll move on. A good friend of mine brought this quotation to my attention quite some time ago, and it's pretty real, and it applies to all walks of life, but also to business. If we don't adapt to change, I think we will not survive. And change and challenges that are going on at the container terminals on a day-to-day basis, and a lot of people are making these decisions in isolation, and they have to deal with real-life problems. These problems are like, is my vessel going to arrive on time? What happens if my crane breaks down? What happens if my truckers don't come and pick up the containers? I'm going to get congestion in my yard. How can I deal with all those problems that are occurring at multiple times, and many often at the same time? A lot of these terminal operators and the people working in the terminals doing a fantastic job are dealing and with these problems in an isolated manner. And wouldn't it be nice if we could connect all the problems and bring them together to make better decisions and more informed decisions? And that's what we're with disruptive technologies we are really able to do. So the technologies, each technology that's coming at us now has a level of impact. And when putting the presentation together, a lot of the technologies have low impact, and we can sort of avoid them and not deal with them. But sooner or later, we're going to have to deal with them. And as we go up the pyramid, the impact increases in the technology that needs to be implemented or will be forced to be implemented at the terminal. So if I go quickly, cloud computing, everyone's aware, vendors are increasingly going software as a service, which means your IT is actually delivering a different level of business and service to the operations. And IT needs to change, and it's disrupting the way they're doing their work, because stuff that they used to do, they don't do anymore. 5G networks, it's come in, as you know, it's already been implemented in many countries, but for terminals and ports, it's allowing more equipment to be connected faster, and it's allowing areas of the terminal that was dark to now be connected. So it's increasing the amount of data that we are able to generate for better use going forward. But more connectivity, more information is actually a good thing. It's going to disrupt the way we do business, but we're going to need to change with this. 5G is also a strong enabler of Internet of Things, and you can put adapters and IoT devices on very small elements of your terminal to see what impact they have on your terminal. And many companies are developing sensors for all kinds of things, like, is my driver asleep at the cab? Why is my prime mover not moving? What is the route that prime mover has taken? So all these adapters are bringing more data to the terminal. And with this data, what are we going to do with it? More data and types of data is thrown at us on a daily basis, and this is going to increase. So we're going to get data from multiple different sources. A lot of the data is going to be unstructured, and we're going to have to deal with that data. The data is going to come from untrustworthy sources and needs to be cleaned and verified. And also, as I said, the speed at which data is transmitted is phenomenal across the world, and also for terminals. With all the data that's coming, what we can do, and one nice thing is we can now create real life digital twins. And for now, we are creating emulated twins, which are not really the real life programs that are running the terminal. But with a real life digital twin, and in this example, I give the cow, you can change and apply data science to get better decisions and better ways of how the terminal can operate to increase your profitability with the same amount of footprint that you will have. So for example, in this example, if we change the type of grass we give the cow, does it give us a better yield in terms of milk production or a better taste in beef? And in the terminal world, we can actually create a digital twin now that can actually run the real programs that are running in terms of how much equipment do I need to put on a terminal? What happens if my vessels are late? And run these data science programs quite effectively and efficiently, because more data is available to us as we are as the technologies are increasingly driving more data. So with all this data, you need programs and tools to actually handle the data, and the AI factor that's there is going to be able to enable the data for use for optimization of the terminal. So traditional logic versus AI logic, the business just sets the rules, and the AI actually learns those rules and determines the impact of those rules within the terminal, applies itself the penalties, and self-optimizes based on mistakes that the AI has done. As everybody knows, AI is a learning mechanism that does learn from mistakes and never makes those mistakes twice. It can take data from many different sources at once, like weather, traffic, performance of a particular driver, and then models real life what is going to happen. It needs a minimal set of rules, and it actually adapts in real time. And contrary to popular belief, AI is not a high investment technology, and you don't need geniuses to run the technology. It's pretty much, once implemented, people can control and manage it just like any other technology. So what is the impact AI is bringing to the customers that we're working with? Well, we're seeing increased customer satisfaction. We are seeing operational efficiency, and we're seeing that the terminal is able to focus on the fundamentals and not focus on problems, because the AI is actually making decisions around the problems itself. It's self-sustainable. It doesn't, and it is constantly running and aware of its surroundings, and it adapts to change. So we look at tidal factors, weather conditions, and we predict whether the vessel is going to come on time or not. If the vessel is not going to come on time, we're able to handle and deal with it, like have equipment ready for maintenance if the vessel's not going to be there. So introducing what we've built over the last 3 years is the AI Con Suite, and it's completely powered by AI. Now, the brain interconnects all the decisions that needs to be made to improve your efficiency and optimization of how the terminal will run. We have a module called Vessel Site, does all the tracking of what the vessels are, when they're going to come, and are they really going to come at that right time. We have Equipment Site, which predicts the way when an equipment's going to fail, and we've implemented that and at a large terminal in Europe. We have Yard Site that actually tells the terminals where to deck the containers in the yard, and there's many positive side effects for doing it that way, and which I'll come to in my next slide. But Yard Site is really optimizing the current the footprint that the terminal has, and taking into consideration of when the trucks are coming, what containers needs to be delivered in the next hour to make sure the containers are in the right place. All these technologies are interlinking and making decisions, not in isolation, but together to improve seriously the performance of the terminal. One of the nice quotes that came from the CEO that we're working with of a very large Asian terminal, and he says the AI is now bringing business and technology close, and it's really my eyes and ears of what's going on out there, which I thought was a very nice quote from the guy. so what have we seen? So we've implemented Yard and it's live and running. And we've seen that all the equipment is operating equally without any reduction in standard deviation. So what that means is that we're able to get more containers through the terminal because we focus on making sure that all the equipment is working at the same optimal rate. It has also reduced the average trip time that's taken, and it has reduced the number of rehandles required because we put the containers in the right place within the terminal and within the yard at the for the right time. And so the truck deliveries faster. And another potential side effect that we see happening is that we're able to reduce the distance traveled by the prime movers and the RTGs. And reducing that means reducing CO2 emissions and reduction in fuel, which has been a real positive side effect that's come out of it. At another site, we've implemented equipment site in Rotterdam, and we are managing a fleet of their AGVs, and we're able to predict with 75% confidence level what on the AGV is going to fail, and we have it's been running now, and really when we say this is going to fail, the engineering department goes ahead and takes a look, and they're amazed at how reliable the models are. And we've identified 10 high-risk problems with the AGVs that would have disrupted their operations. And so AI today is real. It's low cost. And if we don't embrace it now, then our competitors will. And we will lose that edge that we need. For that, I'll just thank you and leave you with this, this quotation. The future is for us not to foresee it, but to enable it. With that, I hand you back, Anthony. I hope that was in time.